Hello and welcome. My name is Space Muffin, and this is the Void Playground. I do have a new mic, everybody, so I apologize if there are some technical difficulties. But, anyways, today we're going to be discussing Diablo 4. We're a little late to the party, I know. I'm here with JD. JD, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing well. How's everybody else doing?
I'm personally doing good. This is really good. So, JD, I know that you don't have super duper crazy amounts of experience with Diablo, but yeah, tell us your kind of experience, your Diablo experience.
So I played the first Diablo like just briefly. I didn't get to play a lot. Um, I remember back then I didn't really like the game, so that's why I didn't play with it a lot. But now that I'm seeing Diablo 4 and the gameplay of Diablo 4, I'm kind of interested in getting into it. Yeah, the gameplay really looks interesting. So
Y-
yeah, can you tell me more about it? Because I don't have that much experience with it. I only played the first one.
Yes, so you guys are gonna hear my keyboard real quick. I'm just gonna look up some dates real quick, just so I'm getting my information correct. So I apologize about the keyboard iness. Okay, so um, guys, Diablo has been around for a long time. The first Diablo game came out in 1997, along with the Hellfire expansion, and then in 2000 we had Diablo 2, and then in 2001 we had Diablo 2: Lord of Destruction, and then it wasn't until 2012 that we got Diablo 3, and then in 2014 we got Diablo 3: Reaper of Souls, and then 2017 it was a mini expansion, kind of a class update. Was Rise of the Necromancer in 2017. In 2021 we got a remaster of Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Resurrected, and then in 2022 last year we got Diablo Immortal, and then we got Diablo 4. So we're going to kind of go over each one real quick. For those of you who don't know, Diablo is an isometric action RPG, made by Blizzard, and it's really good. It's really what's the word? It's really dark. The first one's kind of like a medieval dark fantasy. The second one's pretty dark too, but not quite as dark as the first one. Yeah, Diablo 3 is a it's more like cartoony. It's more like kind of like more like World of Warcraft in a way. It's not exactly the same art
Hmm.
style, but it's kind of similar in the sense that there is the um that kind of cartoony aspect. So,
Hmm.
um Diablo, the newest one, Diablo 4, it really goes back to the dark kind of art style. And the thing about Diablo 4 is like Diablo 3 was also very simple. It did like Diablo 3 had a really great combat. It was really fast paced, and I mean, it was just really just really fun, kind of combat. But the problem with Diablo 3 was that it um what's the word, like it no, there's a lot of problems with Diablo 3, but like the main one, if I had to like sum it up, is like that the progression was too simple. It was too fast. Like you would start the season and like a day later you'd be like you could power level, and like you could be max level in like 20 minutes, literally. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, in Diablo 3, I haven't really played much of Diablo 1. I've played it before, but Diablo 2, I played, and the cool thing about Diablo 2 is the skill tree system and the progression system and things
Hmm.
like that. Um, and with Diablo 4, and this is what's really cool about Diablo 4, is Diablo 4 has that really nice fluid combat that Diablo 3 has, but it has the complexity with the skill tree, and then also you have a paragon tree as well with Diablo 4. Um, Diablo 4 is different in a lot of ways, in the sense that like there's a lot of MMO elements in Diablo 4,
Okay.
and um I don't know. It's really interesting. I mean, if you guys, if like I said, it's been a long time since I've been surprised by a video game, and you know, yeah, this is definitely one that surprises me. Like I it's a 9 out of 10 for me. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Y-
looking at the gameplay of Diablo 4, I'm really interested in it now because like the gameplay, the game aspect of it, it's like I like RGP. Well, oops, I can't even speak today. I like role playing games. But the thing is that like I wasn't interested in Diablo the first time, but now like seeing it, I'm really interested and probably will pick it up. But the other thing I liked about the aspect of it is that what from what I hear is the previous games, let's say like you're level 40 something and I'm level 5. Um we can't play together. But now with Diablo 4, like that they scrapped that. So even if I'm level 5 and you're level 45, we can still play together, and that's what I really like.
yeah, no, 100%, man. So Diablo 4 has I mean this is just a fact. It like there's more content
Mm-hmm.
like than ever. There's an open world, you have world bosses, dungeons, you have strongholds, world bosses were kind of introduced in Diablo Immortal, and they're kind of like outdoor bosses that you can fight with your friends, and
Mm.
um, just kind of essentially like I said, there's those MMO elements. Of course, the whole game can be soloed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you have dungeons, which you can get loot and rewards, and then like the bosses in this game, they're a lot smarter. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like the mechanics to fight the bosses are a little bit, sorry, not a little bit, but like quite a bit like smarter. Um,
How so?
well, in the sense that like in Diablo 3 and Diablo Immortal and a little bit, actually quite a bit in Diablo 2, it was just kind of like you whack the boss mindlessly, and
Mm-hmm.
this one there's a dodge mechanic, and you have to dodge the boss's attacks. Like you have to, there's a more rhythmic aspect, and that's kind of like more like World of Warcraft as well.
I
um
see.
and I think there's definitely a lot that's been learned. There's no pay to win aspects in this game like in Diablo Immortal. I know a lot of people were worried about that. The classes, they feel, I mean, in Diablo the classes always feel pretty smooth, but what's interesting about this game versus your traditional MMO or your MMO like game or even ARPG is like, okay, I guess really comparing Diablo games here. The barbarian, like you can play the barbarian class however you want to do. Same with the druid, the necromancer, the rogue, or even the sorcerer. So like with the barbarian, if you want to be like a guy who runs around with a hammer and smashes people, or you can dual wield blades, you can do like a whirlwind build. There's like the build possibilities, um, um, you know, are really endless. And what I like about this is there's more than like there's so many viable builds. So with the druid, you can either be like a spell casting druid or you can be like a shape shifting druid. And if you are a shape shifting druid, you can be like a bear or you can be a wolf, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
so you can really, and then you can mix and match the elements. So let's say you want to be a shape shifting spell casting druid, you can do that too.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, interesting.
yeah, with the rogue, you can be like a bow and arrow type rogue, or you can be like a more swords and daggery, shadowy type rogue. So it
Mm-hmm.
just depends on what you want to do. Um, yeah, each class feels like in the beginning, like some classes do feel a little slower. But yeah, and now this is just my opinion. I think like the single player, a lot of people like kind of had some problems with the single player experience. I do believe that it's better than Diablo 3. I think the single player here, the campaign mode, the story is better. It fits more with the Diablo universe. I can understand that some people maybe have problems with certain elements of the story, but I think on the whole, I really like the story. I think the story mode alone is worth the $60. That's just my opinion, though. Just because there's so
Okay.
much to do, like there's so much content in the single player mode. Um, and what's cool about like this game is you're not running into people all the time, right? You'll see people like in the town hubs, but like if you're just running around, like you might see a couple dudes, but you don't get that feeling like that you're being overwhelmed by a bunch of other players. If that makes any sense.
Mm. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first Diablo game with an open world. This is the first Diablo game like there's a lot of firsts. This is the first Diablo game where you can have a mount. This is the first Diablo game that um has this amazingly rich open world. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of cool stuff. So I don't know. Um, the other thing about Diablo games is they're supported for years. I mean, you got people still playing Diablo 2, right?
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and I mean Diablo 3 came out in 2012ish. People are
Mm-hmm.
still playing that. So I think Blizzard is definitely going to support this game for the next 10 plus years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. I can see that. Now,
They're,
in terms of gameplay, I know if you had a chance to play Diablo for the last week, right? You had it
yeah, yeah.
pre-release.
Yeah, I had it in early access, yeah.
Yeah, you had early access. So, in terms of class, what class did you decide to go with, and why did you choose that class?
During the beta, I played the barbarian, and then during
Mm-hmm.
the actual release, I played the druid. Um, the reason why I went with the druid is because people were. I just wanted to try something different. I normally roll necromancer or something like that, but I decided to roll the druid just because, just wanted to experience it. Obviously, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
play through all the other classes. As time goes on, once the seasons start. But yeah, I mean, the druid, I just wanted to be a bear and I wanted to hit people. That was kind of my reasoning. Um,
Yeah. When you said shapeshifting into a bear or a wolf, I was like, a wolf? Okay, I'm interested.
yeah, so the druid is like the nature class, like one with the elements, and it kind of does it does different stuff. So for example, like the druid is kind of like a master of actually it's good at like it can be like a melee class where you can poison people, you can
Mm-hmm.
spell cast, whereas like the sorceress can only or the sorcerer can only spell cast, right? It's like a master of elements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the sorcerer is it's more honed in, right? Like it has more of a um like if you look at the druid, like I said, it can do melee, it can do all this stuff. Whereas the sorcerer, like some people would say, well, why not just roll a druid, right? But the sorcerer is a better spellcaster in my opinion because you have so much more variety. Keep in mind you have a huge skill tree, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The skill tree comes in to play when you are trying to make out your character. Uh,
Yeah, so every level you get a skill point and you can um what's the word? Like you can customize it to your play style, you can customize it to your kind of the class fantasy that you want to do.
mm-hmm.
And it's so nice, dude. It's so good. Like Diablo 3 was bad in Diablo 3. It was just bad in Diablo 3.
Really?
Yeah, it
How
was
so?
in Diablo 3 like there wasn't like you just kind of felt like you were there wasn't really a skill tree. You just pick like a skill and like that was your skill. Like Diablo 3 was more like you'd get like a set, and stuff like that. But like I think in Diablo 4 there's more of a balance between like the skills you choose and also the legendary gear and the legendary affixes that you choose. Um but like in Diablo 3, and I'm not saying Diablo 3 is a bad game. So let's, Diablo 3 is definitely an amazing game, but there were just certain aspects of Diablo 3 that the community just didn't like and that were able to kind of they were addressed in Diablo 4.
Okay, I can see that. Um, so in terms of gameplay, how have you been playing lately? Like, have you been teaming up with other players, going to dungeons, or have you just been doing like a solo type of thing, like your Kirito?
So I've been playing with sometimes I'll play with my friends or whatever, but I've mainly been doing it solo.
Mm-hmm.
Um but like sometimes I'll party up with somebody or sometimes I'll see them doing an event. Like what's cool about this game is like there's random events that go on and there's strongholds and stuff like that. So sometimes other people will just be there and you can kind of make friends that way. Um,
Okay.
there's obviously, like I said, like there's so many crazy elements in this game that we haven't even touched on. So there's a PvP system. that I haven't even really explored PvP, and I'm really curious about that, how that's going to work. Also, this Diablo game, and not that Diablo, like, I mean, this isn't really a high bar, but like Diablo 4 has the most customization of any Diablo game. Just from the get go, like you can kind of make the character look how you want. It's not as like crazy as like the Sims 4 or something like that, but you can kind of there's elements of customization where you can kind of make your unique character because you get to see the character throughout all of the cutscenes. You get to, and your character has a voice, and it's pretty cool. In
Okay.
Diablo 1 and 2, you would kind of choose like a character class, meaning like the sorcerer was a character, or the sorceress was a character, the barbarian was a character, and then also a class. And then in Diablo 3, you could choose between male and female. And
Hmm.
then in Diablo Immortal, they kind of did the customization thing. It's not as elaborate though as the customization here. You can customize your mount, you can customize everything, like head to toe. You can customize your whole character.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Because a lot of games now, I think the reason why they did that is because a lot of games now are moving towards customization. Uh, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting that
Uh,
they implemented that.
I think anytime, I think it's just a standard, like you're saying, like kind of a standard in gaming,
Hmm.
where you want to be able to express your character, your vibe, your style, and you want it to reflect with your avatar and the character that you're playing.
Yeah, and especially now with like the skill trees. What game started the skill tree anyway?
Uh, it really, I mean, in Diablo 1, you kind of had a skill system, but really Diablo 2 is known for the skill tree system.
Really?
And yeah, well, the thing is, players, like I said, they like to, have that fine tuning aspect, and you're able to do that in this game. Um, and for those of you who, haven't played like any kind of action RPG, or isometric ARPG, it's kind of like, you know, um, you point and click, and then you use your keyboard to hit the skills, or you can play with controller.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard like this game is out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. So you can obviously play with a controller, but I play with a mouse and keyboard. You don't have to, like I said, and like I said, the level of the amount of options, the sheer amount of options you have in this game are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, for those of you who don't know, this is a very dark game. You're battling the forces of hell. It's very immature, demons, and all that fun stuff. And it definitely is an experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, what's really fun in this game is just walking around and just kind of like looking at the world. It's super fun, and then just like discovering like what little nooks and crannies, or if like a treasure goblin's gonna pop out. Um,
Yeah, the maps, from what I've seen from gameplay so far, the maps look really nice. Like it's very artistic.
yeah, the map is just one continuously massive open world, and you can go into like dungeons, like instances, and like you can do. There's like little like cellar, little dens that you can do where you go in, and it's like a little mini thing. You can get like
Mm-hmm.
you can get stuff. There's so much replay value. You only have to beat the story once, by the way, and then you unlock kind of like an adventure mode, so to speak.
Huh, okay.
Kind of similar to Diablo 3. And what's cool about this game specifically is, once you like, there's different modes. So like there's different difficulty modes. So you can kind of go at your own pace, or you can go. Um, it's what's the word, like if you just want to enjoy the story and not have to be super duper frustrated getting hit by the bosses and all that stuff. I mean, of course you're gonna, there's gonna be challenge even in normal mode, but I just like the fact that, I don't know, I think that this game doesn't necessarily do anything new, but it brings all the good elements that we've seen in the past 10 years from ARPGs, and it just
Mm-hmm.
it just gives us everything we want, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Now you mentioned that it is cross-platform. Now let's just say, for example, you're on PC. and I buy it on Xbox or PlayStation, can we play together? Is it like cross-platform that way, or
I
is it
don't
each?
believe there's cross-platform play. In other words, I don't believe if you're on PC you can play with a PS4 player or PS5
Mm,
player. They might be adding that in the future, but I don't believe that's a feature right now.
okay. So for those who are interested and your friends are on the PC version, you will have to purchase the PC version to play with them.
Yeah, speaking of versions, I purchased the Ultimate Edition. Having said that, um,
Do you regret it?
no, I think the Ultimate Edition, is fine. Honestly, because I got you get the premium battle pass and all that fun stuff. You get the premium battle pass with the deluxe edition. Like if you're gonna
Hmm.
buy the game, I recommend getting the deluxe edition because you get, like I said, the battle pass, and then you get the mount armor. You get you get some kind of like nice little perks here. You know what I mean? Um,
Hmm.
it's $10 more for the Ultimate Edition, but I think like that 4 days of early access. That's kind of why I personally purchased the Ultimate. The tier skips, you don't really need them. When I say tier skips, I'm referring to the battle pass. And keep in mind, guys, I want to mention. I know I mentioned this earlier, but like, there's zero pay to win in this game. In Diablo Immortal, which is the only game there is pay to win elements. A lot of pay to win in Diablo Immortal. In Diablo 4, I'm happy to say that there's zero pay to win elements in this game, um, which is much appreciated. Obviously, you have people that you know they really want to work. You know what I mean? Like they really
Yeah,
want
yeah, of
to,
course.
and they want everyone to have a fair shot. Like my problem with Diablo Immortal, when I was playing Immortal, Diablo Immortal is really fun. It's got a really great single player. It's a free game. Diablo Immortal, if you're gonna play it, just play the single player. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
once you start to get into in-game content, once you start to get into PvP, Diablo Immortal becomes very pay to win. With Diablo 4, you can buy the standard edition and you can be just as good as anybody, people who bought the deluxe edition or people who buy the battle pass or whatever.
Hmm. Now, in terms of the battle pass, like what does the battle pass provide?
So the battle pass provides cosmetic items, and on the free track, so this is accessible to everyone. I believe you get some gems and things like that, but it's nothing like, like I said, it's anything that will give you power. Everyone has access to, so you don't have to pay for things that have power. The battle pass just simply gives you additional cosmetic elements. So
Okay.
that might be things for your mount, that might be armor, visual armor changes and things like that.
Okay, so basically it's just mostly cosmetic stuff that you get with the battle pass.
100%. The battle pass is 100% optional.
Hmm. And does the battle pass, like when it comes to cosmetics, does it like help boost your armor or any health like that?
No, no, not at all.
Okay.
It is strictly cosmetic. It is strictly a visual thing. It does not affect your gear stats or anything like that.
Okay, that is good to know. So that way, for those of you guys who are interested and just want the standard edition, you guys are not missing out. Um, Basically, if you guys get the deluxe or the ultimate, that is just cosmetic stuff that you guys are getting. So that's good to know that they implement that you're not missing out if you don't get the battle pass.
100%. So, I don't know. Like I said, I played this game so much in the past few weeks, but
I know I get notifications every time you log on.
I mean, I'm literally probably going to play it after this podcast. So, um yeah, guys. I mean, some interesting things about this game are just like I said, the level of care that went into this. Most games that launch are a buggy mess. This game,
Hmm.
there's been like literally like one or two glitches that I've noticed, but they've been like the developers have been really good at patching this. And I know Blizzard's had a bad reputation. I think Blizzard has had a bad reputation in the past few years. There's been a lot of
A lot
there's
of
been
controversy that we'll not get into.
well, yeah, well, yeah, like I said, a lot of controversy and a lot of stuff like that, and a lot of like, with their other games, and obviously, the situation in 2019 that happened. But
Hmm.
here's the thing, though, guys. So as someone who's played a lot of Activision Blizzard games, I believe that this is the best Blizzard game that has been released since StarCraft 2. So
Really?
since 2010, yeah.
Okay, that's a bold
Um,
statement right there.
well, I mean, look, let's look at what's been released like since StarCraft 2. You have Hearthstone. Hearthstone was really good. You
Mm-hmm.
had Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm. You
Yeah.
had what was that other game called? Yeah, Overwatch, and then you had obviously Diablo Immortal,
Mm-hmm.
and then Overwatch 2. So yeah, I think this is probably the best game they've released in StarCraft 2. That's just my
Okay.
opinion,
Okay.
and if you guys think that there's a better game, let me know. If you think that I mean, arguably there's a better Blizzard game that has been released between now and then, please let me know in the
Mm-hmm.
comments. But this game, like I said, just has a lot of care, and it's a return to form. Like it's restored faith into the Blizzard brand. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's good to know. Speaking of Overwatch 2, we'll have another podcast totally separate about that another time. There's a lot about Overwatch 2 that I would like to get into. But yeah, but today we're talking about Diablo 4, so let's
Hundred
get back on
percent,
topic.
100%. So, yeah, like I mean, I don't know, guys. It's one of those situations where like I said, I don't get impressed with games that often. I really don't,
Mhm,
especially
mhm.
today. Like a lot of games will have like these really good elements. Like there'll be something really good with the game that it's really amazing, but then they'll have all this other bad stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
With Diablo 4, there are some minor nitpicks, and it's just personal nitpicks. You know, but I think overall, like this is a game that I'm going to be playing for the next 10 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's that good. Um, like I knew the game was going to be good from just because I played the beta, right? But like this game even blew past those expectations for me.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just like on a visual level, on a gameplay level. Um, like ironically, the weakest part of this game is the actual story itself. But even the story, I'm really like I'm pretty satisfied with it, honestly.
Mhm. Without
Um,
spoilers, why are you disappointed with the storyline?
I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I'm just saying it's like the weakest part of the game. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, it's a little the pacing. I don't know if it's a pacing problem or whatever, but it's just a little. I don't know. There's some pacing problems. But having said that, this story is definitely better than Diablo 3. Um, I would say it's better than Diablo Immortal. That's just my personal opinion. And I don't really know, like the first Diablo game was relatively short. Diablo 2 had a good story, but um yeah, like in comparison, this is probably the second best Diablo game. It's in the top two, for me at least.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then I mean, for those of you who are coming from Path of Exile, like it's dark, it's gritty, like I said, and like I said, it's a return to form. So, we are going to wrap up the podcast, guys, but let us know what your thoughts on blah, blah, blah. Let us know what your thoughts on Diablo 4 are, and let us know if you're going to be playing it, and if you do play it, feel free to add me. Don't forget to go to thevoid.gg and check out our Discord server and the merch and all that fun stuff you guys can get there. So cool. JD, closing thoughts on Diablo 4. Are you convinced?
Yeah, I'm really contemplating on getting it. I don't know which version though. Should I get the standard or the digital deluxe? Of course, I'm not going to get the ultimate one, but I'm trying to decide between the standard or the deluxe one.
That, my friend, is completely up to you. If you want the extra cosmetics and fun stuff, the deluxe edition might be a good purchase.
Hmm. Yeah, I have to think about it first, but for sure, I want to end up getting one of the copies.
Yeah. So, like I said, guys, smooth gameplay, beautiful visuals, amazing customization, tons of content. This game is definitely, for me, it's a 9 out of 10. So, anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and or evening. And this is the Void Playground. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.